That's right. It's kneecap biting with the Detroit Lions. I have my boys here. I got Jeff and I got wise bearded dad. How's everybody doing
Yo,
tonight?
good, damn
Very
good.
good, very good.
All right. We're starting off with 4 viewers, and the chat should get lively shortly.
By the way,
Let's get right into it.
in that intro.
Sudfelt.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, it never gets old seeing Ndamukong Suh slam people to the ground.
And of all
Never
people,
gets old.
David Craig. It almost
Uh,
that was almost a face mask. Did you see how it started? Reached up and he was almost grabbing his face mask. He goes, "Oh, I better grab with both hands," and he just grabs him and suplexes him to the ground.
Oh, it was great.
all I'm saying, if that was back in the '90s, that would have been clean play.
It didn't get a penalty that game. Made me happy. That being said, let's get into it. Sudfelt has looked good during OTAs. Who knew? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's OTAs. If you're a quarterback, I don't care if you're first, second, third string in the NFL, and you can't look good in OTAs, you don't belong in a roster. You know what I mean? So it's not much to me.
All right. Jared?
Honestly, Jeff pretty much hit the nail on the head on that. I mean, if you can't play for essentially backyard football with like NFL receivers, it's like even if you're a third string quarterback, you're at the NFL level. If you can't do that, you don't even deserve to be on a roster. So I mean, I hope he looks good right now. That's great. That's good to hear.
Facebook user says, "Good to see Jeff back. Hello, brother."
It's good.
Smithers says, "Heyo." And Felicity Jean comes in and says, "Keep it up, guys." Thank you, Felicity, for watching. That being said, I'm going to give my interpretation of this. It's pajama warrior party time at OTAs. And, oh, it's Quinn Cook that said hello to you, Jeff.
What up, Quinn?
And that being said, Tim Boyle and David Blau looked good last year in OTAs.
Yeah.
That's pretty much enough said right there.
Yep. So he will continue to be Suckfelt for me.
Hey, I was a flag football champion back in my day. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And Quinn says he's living the father life. And that being said, on a personal news note, Jeff and his wife has publicly made the announcement that they're having a child. Congratulations.
Thank you. Got a little one on the way. Very excited.
I get to be a great uncle again.
That makes you old.
I am old. But and now, LaPorta, Gibbs, and Jamo have been showing out on the offensive side. Suckfelt looking good. What do you think about it there, wise bearded dad?
Well, I mean, out of all those guys you named, I think the most important one obviously is Goff, but I'm not sweating it too much because he's still working on timing and getting used to new receivers. The one I'm really more worried about is actually the rookie Gibbs. If he's going to be the weapon that we drafted him to be, I mean, he's got to start showing up right now. I mean, out of all the offensive rookies, like LaPorta's good, but I don't see him like as a rookie tight end coming out and setting the league on fire. You know what I mean? Like, Gibbs has the play time and the speed to do it.
I agree. Jeff?
Well, you said those three were showing out, right?
Yep. That means doing good.
Yeah, so, I mean, you've invested such a high pick on the tight end, and I know that with Detroit Lions fans, investing high picks in tight ends leaves a real sour fucking taste in your mouth, sour taste in your mouth. But this is what you want to hear coming out of OTAs. You don't want to hear this guy's struggling or dropping passes. So that's a good thing. Jahmyr Gibbs, you invested a high pick in him. And, I mean, if you look at some of the little highlights in there, he looks electric. He definitely looks electric. I've been paying attention to that. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this season to start. I mean, hell, I'm definitely excited.
Amen. I think it's great. Both of our 12th pick from the same school, Alabama, are looking like they were playing. As a matter of fact, Gibbs was asked about what he thought about the OTA workouts. He thought that it was way easier than what they did at Alabama because it was full contact from day one in Alabama in spring training.
Yeah.
And
well, that's per NFL rules, right? That they have to,
Yeah, it's got to be pajama parties until actual training camp. Yes. Patty Grimes says, "What's up? What's up, Patty? How's things in Grand Blanc?" He's golf for MVP. Okay, I like it. Overall, the defense looks like it could be, at worst, top 16.
I mean,
compared to last year because they improved the line. The talent we're bringing in, rookie and UDFA wise, on the D line, there's some people looking over their shoulder right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to make a hot prediction or anything, but man, I expect to be close to that fucking top 10. Real close.
Yeah, I said 10 to 15 would be perfect landing spot because that means you're a playoff contending defense.
Yeah. What do you think, Jared? Where are you putting us at?
I mean, as it stands right now,
12.
That's what 12?
That's what I'll say, 12.
As it stands right now, I'm going to probably say if they get to and I'm not trying to be too much of a pessimist, but if they're 16 or possibly 17, I think that's enough. I mean, I think their offense is good enough to really win the division and get them into the playoffs. I mean, at 16, 17, that's not the best defense, but to win a playoff game with that offense.
So you think 12 is too much of a leap, huh?
A little bit.
Well,
I mean, I wouldn't go there. I mean, like I said, maybe as high as 15. I got to see something first. They still have Anzalone starting. He's not bad. He had a great year last year. But, I mean, their defensive line, you added Broderick Martin.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not as high on him as some people think, but I like that kid.
Oh, sorry.
I like him. I like him as a rotational guy for sure. But, and I mean, I know they signed 2 good corners. But at the same time, I'm like, I mean, if injuries happen, is the depth there? You know what I mean?
Well, think about it. We had A.J. Parker and Jerry Jacobs that both played at the 2 and did decent in their rookie years as UDFAs. Ife Melifonwu, who played decent at corner but got hurt. Chase Lucas started out, was looking decent as a 7th-round pick, but got hurt. Sevion Smith, a UDFA, started playing decent, got hurt.
But now you've added some legitimate NFL corners into that backfield.
And the best rookie safety coming out in the draft in Brian Branch, which the only 2 players that have to sign are the 2 people out of Alabama, Brian Branch and Jahmyr Gibbs. Everybody else has signed their rookie contract so far.
Yeah. I'm not worried.
That's a good thing.
They'll get her done.
Well, I personally think they're going to get between James Burgess. The Packers are a lock to win the NFC North. Plus on to James.
Yeah.
I personally think they're going to make that leap. I think they're going to be between, I'm not going as high as 10 or even as 12, but I think 13 to 17 is where they're going to fall. In that range.
I guess where I'm at, with the additions to the secondary and where our defensive line is at, that's what pushes me up. I expect us to fucking show up. I expect them pass rush. You got Charles Harris back. You got Romeo Quara back, hopefully fully healthy. We got him back for a little bit of last season. He had a 2-sack game. So
Don't care.
But
the game and then disappeared.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
He did.
He's just depth at that point. You get Charles Harris, Aiden Hutchinson, James Houston. You know what I'm saying? Just depth. put more people at that offensive line.
The
Just
best
never
addition.
let up on them.
The best addition this offseason was by subtraction. It was somebody I called being cut right off the rip, and that was Michael Proctor.
That was
He was the
waste of a
first
roster
vet.
spot.
He was the first vet off this roster, and I jumped and did the Meposian Dance of Joy from Bosom Buddies, if you guys remember that show.
He was a healthy scratch for most of last season, you know.
He was just a locker room guy, really. I mean,
Yeah,
there
he
was
was that bad.
Yeah.
Bring some leadership to this young defensive line type shit, you know.
You know what's funny is the game that he played in during that stretch we were winning, he played in 2 games. You know which 2 games he played in?
First 2?
The Bills and the Panthers game. The 2 games we lost, he played. Think about that. How horrible is that? The only 2 games that you started during an 8-2 stretch, you were playing as a starter in the 2 losses.
God, that was bad.
James Burgess just had a pretty good comment there.
Yep. And Will Vogel says, hi, guys. And he says, the biggest plus I see this, like Brocker's good during practice, useless on Sundays. Yep, that was Brocker's. I said, how many times when he was starting during that bad stretch at the beginning of the season, how many times did I call him out as a cold player for being a bump on the D-line, like a bump on a log?
I mean, a bunch of our starters from 2 years ago are now depth pieces.
Exactly. All right, and now we're to something that nobody's been talking about. There's the 4th rule that was voted in by the owners at the players at the winter meetings. And it has to do with RPO type of play options. Those plays. If a quarterback moves outside the pocket and pitches the ball forward at all, it now be considered, whether they're behind the line or not, an illegal forward pass. That's huge when you think about what beat us 90% of the time in the runs. It was RPOs and read options, because they'd get outside and then they do that little shovel pass just before they hit the line. I like it and hate it at the same time. You're on the goddamn roster and the rule changes. What's your take on that one, Jeff?
I'll let Jared go first, since
Oh,
this
Jared?
is the topic
Okay.
he brought up. You know.
Okay.
Oh,
Jared?
all right. I mean, I don't really like it because it's like you're limiting an offense's ability. I mean, you're helping the defense, yeah, but the problem I don't like about it is it's left open for interpretation. Any pass behind the line of scrimmage. Okay, so what if a quarterback's scrambling, he just throws a little like forward lob at somebody? Is that going to be ruled an illegal pass? I mean, it just, come on now. You're handing the ball off for one, so why, like RPOs, this just pretty much ruins. And to keep this in the division, though, this really hurts Justin Fields. So, looking at you, Chicago.
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun. That being said, Jeff, now you give your take.
Yeah, no, Jared nailed it there. I mean, offensive coordinators are, I guarantee Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Bears offensive coordinators are fucking screaming right now for this dumb ass rule. I think it's stupid, for one. Obviously, it benefits a team like the Detroit Lions, who ain't doing nothing like this, and we have a guy like Justin Fields in our division. So I ain't complaining too much, but overall for the NFL, I think it's a stupid rule.
Okay. Well, like I said, I like it because we don't have that guy starting yet. I'll hate it if it stays for next season, because odds are, if there's any type of bad season, Hendon Hooker's our starter going forward.
Yeah.
I don't predict a bad season, but there's always the one thing that derails any good team we've had. What is it? Injuries. And we have had a plethora of over the last 2 years.
Yeah, we're due for a healthy year.
Yeah, that's what I said. Plus, this will be the first. If it happens week 1, it'll be the first time in over 2 seasons that we had all 5 starting O linemen on the O line.
We got to catch a break these
sweet
years.
baby Jesus.
We got to catch a break one of these years.
But we've been in the top 10 both years.
You know, you bringing up Hendon Hooker just made me think of something. As a Lions fan, you should be voting for Hendon Hooker to be outstanding.
Amen.
Fucking outstanding. That way we can trade off Jared. I'm not saying this is going to happen by any means. I'm not predicting this shit. But you should be rooting for it. That way we can have a rookie contract going forward, move on from Jared Goff. And now you got something that's looking like the Philadelphia Eagles with Jalen Hurts' rookie contract.
James Burgess says, I suppose it's my FFL junkie guessing plays piss me off. And Smithers asks, so is there anything you guys are looking to see in preseason? Growth. I want to see steps in the right direction. Do I want to see them win all 3 games in the preseason? Hell no. Because the last time we went undefeated in a preseason, we had an 0-16 year. I don't want to be the first team to go 0-17.
I want to see some of these undrafted free agents. I want to see Mo Ibrahim run the ball in the NFL. I mean, against backups.
I'm really excited to see if they act. I'm really excited to see if they use Cato and Thompson with all the positions he's played, if they put that to use.
I'm excited to see the line depth, both on the offensive and defensive line. I want to see how the depth looks. I mean, I think that'll make a big difference, bigger than people realize, because, I mean, if that O-line can stay, top 5, and that defensive line can do what we think it should do, the depth has to be there. So I kind of want to see the depth.
And James says, oh, hell yeah, having Hendon Hooker bounce back to be the Heisman guy and keep learning up would be awesome. That's exactly what we want. I want him, you know what? With it being a redshirt year, the only thing I want to see him do this season is be the opposing team on practice days as the athletic guy we're trying to stop. That's it. But with a red shirt so they don't cream him.
Yeah, I don't really want to see him hit the field after that injury. Even if he looks great in practice, I mean, he's not going to see the field unless something dire happens late in the season.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we are to your topic, Jeff. Bring it on. Let's talk about your topic.
Yeah, so HBO has reached out to the Detroit Lions to bring us back for a second season. Back-to-back seasons, which has not happened. So I'll shoot this one off to Jared first. What's your takes on that? On the hard knock?
I mean, from a fan's perspective, I would like to see it, because it'd be kind of cool to see training camp again with Dan Campbell and this Lions roster, especially going into this season. But from a distraction standpoint, I'm kind of wondering, because it doesn't seem like the Lions really want this to happen. So I don't care either way, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I would like to see it from a fan's perspective, though. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to see again.
Well, if it was in season, because of us having that 9-win season, I'd be kind of interested. You look at what the Arizona Cardinals did after having a playoff record season and then having the in season. They imploded the whole second half of the season, but that was more their coaching.
Yeah. So kind of what I get out of it is, obviously last year Hard Knocks must have exploded because people fell in love with this Lions coaching staff. It was electric, and now we've added some personalities on that team. I think, holy shit, you know what I mean? It would be even funner to watch this season, adding a guy like CJ DJ on that fucking roster, GJ on that roster. Man, would it be fun to watch. But I think Rod Wood had kind of said we're not doing this. We're more, we did Hard Knocks last year. Now we're focusing on keying in on fucking getting this team right. You know what I mean? We're moving forward. We're past that shit.
And Valerie told the burner account, not by a long shot. And 20 says, when's the last time the Lions drafted a quarterback and actually had a great offensive line at the same time? The answer is before I was born.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh, wait, no, we had a great offensive line when we drafted Andre Ware, but Andre Ware was a sucky quarterback. I take that back.
I mean, go back to Lions success, 1991 with Eric Kramer. That offensive line was pretty good.
That's the one I'm talking about because 88 through 91, the offensive line didn't change much until James Burgess, Andre Ware. Stop hurting me. Best Hard Knocks ratings in like a dozen years. They might want to sign us to a long-term deal. And Valerie Bordeaux, you're absolutely right. The Lions already turned them down. The Jets turned them down. The Ravens turned them down. And there was another team that already turned them down. Oh, yeah, the Browns.
Man, it's got to be the Jets, right?
Here's Johnny says.
How the hell? It's got to be the Jets.
Once was friends of Mayor Marion Barry's bodyguard in D.C. Corps and was armed guard in Detroit prior. That's awesome. Here's Johnny thinking 91 too. So yeah, it would have been when we drafted Andre Ware. And the Bears did too. That being said, I want it, but I don't want it. As a fan, I want it, but as someone that writes about the team and follows the team, I don't want to see an implosion if it's the in-season one. If it's the preseason one, I'm all good. That was a hard no from Karen Rogers that spoke to management. All right, Wise Bearded Dad, let's have your topic.
I wanted to get your guys' opinion. Like right now, in the way too early, off season. Looking at that schedule, outside of Kansas City, who do you think there's a game on there where you're like, they're not winning this game? I don't see it happening. And then consequently, like what went on there, you're like, yeah, I'll put money on that one. I could see them winning that one for sure.
Well, because Lions, you don't know which bad team we're going to lose to because we lose to one every year. Never, ever get into that. But here we go. I think the team we're going to end at Dallas because refs, Kansas. I think we're winning at Kansas City, even though everybody is against me. I think we're winning at Kansas City. I think the ones that are going to be hard for us to beat because we always play semi-poorly there. Kansas City always has a slow starting defense.
Yeah, I think, Kansas City, like Jared said, I think Kansas City's the only game on the schedule where it's like, I'm not going to say unwinnable, but probably going to chalk it up to an L. I'd be the loudest Lions fan sitting up here in my cabin in Montana that nobody can hear. But I'll be screaming at the top of my lungs if we're fucking winning that game. I'll tell you that right now.
We're winning by 4.
Everybody else on the schedule, they're all winnable games.
We're winning by 4.
In my opinion.
And here's Johnny says, ex-wife babysat Sugar Ray Leonard's classmates. Here's Johnny that also says, shook hands with Tommy Hitman Hearns at the Kronk later. That's awesome. So that's true. I think at the San Diego, at New Orleans, and at Dallas, and at the Baltimore. Those are...
Denver did add a coach. They actually have a coach now. Seattle, yeah. Seattle will be a tough game, too.
I was going to say Dallas just because it's sandwiched between Minnesota at the end of the year.
And wasn't that flexed to a Saturday night game?
Seattle got better. Seattle
Which
got
is our
quicker.
other prime time game because it replaces the Monday night game, the Dallas game.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So out of these teams that are coming to our house that had semi-bad records, who are we losing to? This is my rebuttal.
Can you bring up a
Broncos,
list?
Falcons, Panthers, or Raiders?
Broncos, Falcons,
Broncos.
Raiders.
I'll say
home.
Broncos just because Sean Payton. Campbell was his understudy. I could see like the Broncos playing really hard for that game, and Sean Payton kind of knowing what Campbell's going to do type thing. I mean, maybe it's interesting.
At Baltimore, we need DC to show up early and drug Justin Tucker so we don't get screwed again.
Yeah, I think Broncos too, like Jared said. I think Sean Payton's going to get Russell Wilson right. He's too good of a coach. Russell Wilson, I mean, look at his resume. He's not the quarterback he was last year.
And I'm going to give my take about sub 6 foot quarterbacks because I just did a deep dive into next gen stats. I pulled a counterpart less than 6 foot. If you actually look at their numbers, they have a better completion percentage outside the hash marks, and they have a higher interception rate in between the hash marks. And I have my theory. It's because they can see the guys on the outside because they're shorter than the O-line. So when you got a quarterback that's the size of a Keebler elf, you're going to struggle throwing over the middle.
Well, that's why, like, Russell Wilson's whole career was out of the pocket.
Right.
Yeah. Play action,
roll out,
a good run game, good O-line, and then play action, get out of the pocket, and send the ball down the field. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's not a guess, Smoking JB. That's a fact. Our biggest obstacles to success. The defense not improving would be our biggest obstacle. Valerie Bordeaux said, dude couldn't see over a podium. Yes, he did. He stood on War and Peace. I saw it.
I mean, are they our biggest obstacle to success? Shit. I think it runs through. I think it runs through the defense, kind of like you said. I mean, I kind of agree on that. If they can take that next step forward from the beginning of last season, they've put the players in place. Let's come out the gate as a strong defense. Let's not fucking start out as one of the historically worst defenses in the fucking franchise.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's handling the expectations. I mean, this is the first time in my memory that like the Lions have ever had expectations going into the season where it's like the division should be yours. You should be winning this division. I don't know if they're like used to handling that type of pressure. I mean, you got some players who have, obviously, and I know it's not the same old team, but historically, you get what I mean. The Lions have never been able to handle pressure.
Well, we've never even in my lifetime, I don't remember actually getting the hype from national media about our team.
Right. I mean, Lions have 11 wide receivers and usually field 6, so 5 is either being cut or put on the practice squad. Guess who can't make the practice squad this year if he doesn't make the active roster for the first time in his career? Tom Kennedy.
Oh, Tom.
But here's another interesting stat from the A's thing. Who's the best non-quarterback playing quarterback on the team?
The best non-playing quarterback on the team.
Yep. In other words, not a quarterback, but another player that has the best arm according to everything that was shown during OTAs.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I know. I'm going to guess Malcolm Rodriguez. He's a former quarterback.
Nope. Number 1, Mr. Kennedy. Number 2, my guy, Katoan Thompson. Number 3, Jack Fox. Guess who was the absolute worst? Without
Nate
a doubt.
Sudfelt.
No. QB, it was Mohammed Ibrahim. Ball 10 yards down the field without it hitting at their feet.
He's a bowling ball.
Yeah, that's all he is.
Yeah.
He's a true power back. That's what Ibrahim is. And that's why if he makes that starting roster, which means Craig Reynolds might be going bye-bye, I guess I get a bronze -1+1 on the Sudfelt joke. No, it was
I didn't see. What did he say?
Good. I didn't see it. I had to go back and look. But let me go.
I'll get in the house. Come on.
Oh. Barely, but oh, damn, you're so... Never mind playing Puddle of Mud Sheet. Oh. That being said, we pretty much covered everything. Let's see if any of the viewers want to ask us a question. So, we already had one from Smithers. Let's hear from the rest of you.
Well, I got one thing. I mean, I don't know how many of your viewers are Madden fans, but for one, I'm excited to be fucking playing Madden with a Detroit Lions team with such electric players, right? I haven't been excited about playing Madden with the Detroit Lions since Calvin Johnson, Ndamukong Suh, and Matt Stafford on the team. Now it's like, okay, we got some fucking weapons. I might actually take a Detroit Lions and do a franchise with it, right? I don't know if anybody else are Madden.
Garrett?
I like Madden, but it's like I'm waiting to see the reviews on it before I, spend some money on Madden. It's just been the same recycled game for the past 10 years, and I'm just until I see something different, I'm gonna hold off. I know it looks good, but still.
It has, but these rookies got me excited.
What has me excited is the comeback of NCAA football this season with real names and players.
I don't know if you heard or not, but there's a whole bunch of fucking players boycotting the game that could hold it up.
They're trying to boycott it, but they're not looking at it from the numbers game. Hey, look, it's Smoking Dad or Smoking Papa for Jeff.
What's up, Grandpa? So what I understand is everybody gets $500.
Yep.
That's the deal. Everybody gets $500
per year. It's out while you're in the game.
Right.
I mean, is it really that bad? You get $500 to get made to be in a video game. Immortalized.
Yeah. I'm in a video game. You're damn right. $500. I'm playing on a college scholarship. I'm playing a child's game. Hell yeah, Jared.
Okay, here's the thing that I want to make those players that want to boycott it relevant about, because they say they want to boycott it because it's not enough money. Okay, there is 80 players minimum on a D1 roster, and there's 125 D1 schools. It's 80 to 110 players on a roster. 70 of them are scholarships. So if you break it down, and they got D2 in there, and I heard they're possibly even adding D3. So you're talking upwards of 18,000 players. 18,000
I mean,
players.
yeah,
$500 is a lot of damn money.
that is.
Shit, spent $500 on groceries
So
just the
James,
other day, you know.
right. James Burgess had a good question. Did all the teams in the NFC North improve? Question towards all. Let's start with Wise Bearded Dad.
I don't think all of them. No, not all of them improved. I mean, you can't say Green Bay got better. They lost Aaron Rodgers. They lost Adrian Amos. You know that they didn't improve. The Vikings, they got older and they lost a lot of their defensive players too. So I mean, I think the ones who only improved were just Chicago and Detroit.
I can agree with that. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say much more than what Jared said. So Jared hit the nail right on the head, you know.
The only way that Green Bay improved offensively is they added weapons, which they wouldn't do for Rodgers. So Jordan Love might be okay.
But they didn't improve overall.
But overall, they did not improve. No, I'm just saying. All I said was they improved the weapons to help Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Which was Gutekunst. Oh, Valerie Bordeaux. Chicago didn't improve. She's a Bears fan.
Oh, come on.
No, she's a Bears fan.
They added arguably one of the best tackles in the draft. I mean,
you got DJ Moore.
They added one of the best free agency linebackers, even though they could have paid their existing linebacker. They definitely improved. Oh yeah,
and they drafted Gervon Dexter too.
20 asked us a question also. Do you think the guys the Lions drafted this year, they could have got them later on in the draft, or would they be gone already? I said.
I mean,
let's go Jeff first this time.
That's tough. I mean, I'm not an NFL scout or an NFL GM. I don't have the insight. Like I've talked about before, since Brad Holmes has been our GM, this is the one time that as a Lions fan, I can't say, man, I think I could have done a fucking better job than this dumbass. Right? So, I mean, I don't really have a honest answer about that. I don't have an honest answer about that.
Okay. What about you, Wise Bearded Dad?
I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but I mean, like Jeff said, until this GM gives me a reason not to trust what they're doing, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to ride it out and see what they do. I mean, they've been good so far.
Well, in answer to that, I'm going to point out on an article that came out a week before the draft on ESPN.com. 15 teams in the NFL draft rated Jamar Gibbs higher than Bijan Robinson. His all-around play. So, no, I don't think he'd have been there if we'd have waited even to 18. I don't think Campbell would have been there if we waited for 34. I think LaPorta probably would have went with that first pick in the second round that Green Bay had after us if we didn't take LaPorta then, because they proved they wanted tight ends.
The one that stunned me, though, was Brian Branch being available as late as he was.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Did you guys see that fan reaction? Tom Grassi, a podcaster for the Green Bay Packers, what he did when that trade happened?
I didn't see that reaction.
Oh, my God, it was hilarious. I shared it in a lot of groups. I wish you guys would have saw it. He actually goes, oh, there's a trade. Detroit traded up with us? Please, God, don't let them take Branch. Please, God, don't let them take Branch. I want Branch. Why are we going to trade with the Lions? We already lost Amos to free agency. We need Branch. All of a sudden, he just blew up, started throwing shit everywhere. Motherfuckers took Branch.
I'll tell you what. Trading within your division is usually an unforgivable sin, but Brad Holmes walks away smoking a cigar like, ha, I fleeced you fucks. 2 years in a row in the draft.
Valerie Bordeaux, I love DJ Moore, but Chicago didn't improve that O-line. It's trash.
They did improve that O-line. Chicago did.
You drafted Darnell Wright.
Still there.
You drafted Darnell Wright, who shut down.
Lazy Eye Jenkins is still there. He's right though. The guy
Will
that can't
Anderson.
play a full season. Will Anderson went to the Texans.
No, what I'm saying is Darnell Wright. You drafted the guy who shut down Will Anderson.
Oh yeah.
Right. That. You know.
I'm not saying Chicago's a playoff team. By no means. I'll say that right now. But I think you guys aren't going to be competing for the number 1 pick. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think I'll put them like 8. I have to look at their schedule to break down what I think they'd win.
They won't be competing for the number 1 pick. They will. I guarantee you, Chicago will probably be picking out of the top 10.
I don't know. I said they improved, but I don't think they improved that much. I'm saving it for the NFC North show. I have to. That being said, Brad likes coitusing his division rivals and trades. I think that's what he's talking about. Yeah, Valerie Bordeaux, Green Bay will be in the basement.
20, I guess that's fair. Yeah, they could have traded back down, but I feel like Brad Holmes, these are his guys.
Right.
They wanted, he got. You know what I mean? This is who he wanted, and he was happy with where he picked them.
If you've seen the way he celebrated, it was just like the previous 2 years. Pound on the.
And for all those people who say, why didn't they
Campbell accidentally gets hurt, he hugs Sheila.
And for all the people who are saying, well, why didn't they take Jalen Carter? You have to figure the Lions aren't the only team that passed on him. The Seahawks did. You know, right. The Seahawks, the Raiders, the Bears,
the Falcons.
Even. The Falcons, yeah. There was quite a few teams that could have used him that passed up on him. So, I mean, that's a risk the Eagles felt willing to take.
Yeah.
All right. It'll be Bears versus Lions for Kings of the NFC North.
I don't think the Bears are at that point yet. Let's just take it easy.
The Bears will be battling with the Vikings. I mean,
I think all three of them are battling for second place.
Around about Justin Fields. A lot of love been thrown around about Justin Fields, but didn't we mention that new rule right here? I think that's going to inhibit him a little bit.
Yep.
It's going to make him be a passer. Now, he's got DJ Moore. He's got some other targets. So,
okay, Smithers, bring on your question. We're ready for you. And +1 to Valerie.
Those damn cheese eaters need to relearn life without a Hall of Fame quarterback. May their pain last decades.
Yes, that's a +10.
Fucking right.
Okay, Smithers asks, assuming we go to the playoffs, who is going to be our toughest opponent and how do we beat them? Our toughest opponent is going to be ourselves. If we start doing the dumb penalties thing like we did early in the Dallas game, that's when you're going to see bad calls happen later in the game. We have to play smarter in the playoffs. That's all I got to say.
So I think it's Kansas City.
So you're thinking
outside of the playoffs. I mean, it's Kansas City.
Oh, he asked in the playoffs who's going to be our toughest opponent.
Oh, okay. I got you. Well, that's hard to say because we don't know who we're playing. You know.
Well, that, and it's like, I mean, who do we think is going to make the playoffs? I mean, maybe. Right. Does Philly make the playoffs? I mean, they should, but there's a high chance that they might not. A lot of teams that go to the Super Bowl and lose the following year, they don't make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Or they don't make the playoffs, excuse me.
It's really hard to say. Can't predict who's going to be in the playoffs.
Right. I mean, because last year, on an average, it's 5 new teams.
I guess what we could do is name, I don't know, let's name like a few. San Francisco, right? We're going to assume they're going to be in the playoffs. Philadelphia, we're going to assume they're going to be in the playoffs.
And whoever wins the South with a 8-win season. It'll be just like that year when Washington made it into the playoffs on a 7-8-1 record in the 16-game play.
Man, I think a San Francisco Detroit Lions matchup in the playoffs would be great because we both play the same style of football. That's
+1, Jeff. San Francisco will be there with a great defense.
Yeah, great defense and you know the fucking grocery bagger at quarterback.
Oh yeah, Sam Darnold.
Whoever, you know, they don't give a shit. Brock Purdy, fucking, you know, they don't care who their quarterback is. They built the team, offensive line, defensive line. You know, their defensive coordinators get hired as head coaches every other year.
I mean, you're also forgetting about Geno in the Seahawks, man.
Oh yeah,
watch out for Seattle this year.
They got better, man.
Burgess.
They got better.
+1 to James. Kurt Warner bagged groceries once upon a time after being an arena football quarterback.
Kurt Warner throws football gloves on.
That's why I said bag. That's why I said bag groceries. Kurt Warner is one of my favorites. I love Kurt Warner. Greatest show
I still got to see that movie, American Underdog.
Love that shit.
Well, it's coming to that time of night where I need to talk about my one and only sponsor for now. Glas Negron, the window tinner for A1 Tire Call, go out and see them. Most cars or vehicles is $200 for a full tint job. Does a great job, and I love it.
How about Kurt Warner? How about Kurt Warner in that fucking Arizona?
Took them to the Super Bowl.
Arizona against the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers. How about that shit?
Came close to winning too.
What a Super Bowl that was.
Wasn't that Mike Tomlin's first win as a coach?
I don't know.
Yeah. Ben
Roethlisberger. Sure.
No, his first one was he with him when they beat Seattle?
No, that was the last year of Cowher.
That was in Detroit. That was the fucking Detroit Super Bowl.
It was the next year, wasn't it?
With the bus. The bus
yep.
retired. Okay.
It was no, it was 2 years later. It was 2007 when Kurt Warner took him to the Super Bowl, right? Because Larry Fitzgerald was a rookie.
I can't remember the year.
I want to say no, it was later than that.
It was, then it had to be Tomlin because Cowher retired.
Okay, so that was Cowher's last.
I'm pretty sure it was Tomlin.
So it must have been Tomlin with the Cardinals one.
Yep.
God, that was a good game though, man. Late down the wire, fucking Kurt Warner to Larry Fitzgerald going down late score, and then I think I could be wrong. I can't remember which Super Bowl. Fucking Steelers. I wish we had some Super Bowls in our belt, but I can't remember.
I wish we had playoff ones in our belt.
Was that the fuck
James Burgess? Anyone who could drag the cards.
Fucking game?
Oh,
Antoine
that was
Randall L. to Ward, or was that Seattle?
That was Seattle. Hines Ward was gone by that time. Who's actually coaching a XFL team? Hines Ward. Here's an interesting fact, and it's a football thing because it is the offseason and there's not a lot being played. If the Michigan Panthers win tomorrow, they're in the playoffs. They finally won a game at home in Ford Field. Hallelujah.
They play at Ford Field?
They play at Ford Field. And season tickets for the end zone in the lower bowl, because they don't sell the upper two balconies. They only sell the lower bowl for the XFL, for the USFL. Yeah. It's only $25 for an end zone season ticket.
Well, it ain't the NFL, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
You know why? They want to sell it out. For row 1, 50-yard line, season ticket.
Michigan Panthers, man. That'd be, I don't know.
Jeremy, you might be able to make a tight end position at the fucking on the Michigan.
No, actually, they got a really good tight end. The problem was quarterbacking. You know who the better one is?
Who's that?
Carson Strong. They need to start him over that Josh Love. And there he is smoking that. I gotta admit, I like Kurt myself.
Hell yeah, I'd like me some Kurt Warner, man. He was a gamer.
He was.
Thank you to everybody in the chat. James Burgess, 20. Smoking Dad, Valerie Bordeaux, the Queen of the Prowl, Ryan 3 Cushion, Smithers. I think by the time Goff gets hurt, there's a chance that Hendon Hooker would be able to come in.
I mean depends on when, if it's early in the season.
I'm saying if it's late in the season, there's a chance that Hendon Hooker will be there. And then, you know what that means. If he's there and he's doing good.
I mean, if Goff gets hurt late in the season, fuck, dude. I'm just like, do you risk throwing out your future rookie guy out there to try to push for the
If you march Nate Sudfelt out there, you have no chance. I'll tell you that right now. You got to at least take a chance with Hooker. Yeah. I'm not sending out Nate Sudfelt.
If he's healthy and you have the choice between Nate Sudfelt,
then hell yeah, you throw him out there.
There's a chance he could be clean, have a clean bill of health by training camp, they're saying now.
Oh, that'd be nice.
We know how that went with Jamo, though.
But Jamo was hurt in January, not back in October.
Hooker will be a fourth quarter QB this season. I'd love to see him in the fourth quarter because that means we're beating the shit out of some cats.
We're saying, Patty, training camp. That's the report that Jeff Risden wrote about, that he looked great in his throwing motions. If he didn't have that knee brace on when he was doing it, you wouldn't have known he was injured.
And I mean, honestly, it's better for the Lions if Nate Sudfeld is like delegated to like a practice squad guy, more or less.
A clipboard.
Just a guy who holds a clipboard. Exactly.
Jared, he's a great. What'd you say? A great clipboard holder at a 30-degree. What did you say?
47-degree angle.
He is great and needs to stay great at holding the clipboard. As soon as he is perfect at finding the right 47.3-degree angle to hold that clipboard and keep an eye out and take notes and do what he's supposed to do with that. And that's what Nate Sudfeld is. I don't want him starting under any circumstances.
No, I don't want him seeing the field whatsoever.
If you could pick one player not to get injured this season, who would it be? I'm on Ross St. Brown.
Jared Goff. Jared Goff, definitely.
Jared Goff.
Absolutely, Jared Goff. And I don't know why everyone's talking about Jared Goff injuries. I mean, we're the Lions' offensive line. He shouldn't even be a touch. He should have enough time to sit back there, make a sandwich, have a Pepsi one, and then throw a deep ball.
Hey, can anyone look who was the least sacked quarterback last year in the NFL?
I think it was Jared Goff, wasn't it?
Let me see. Let me see if I can't pull that up real fast.
I don't care what anybody says, but Jamo being gone for 6 weeks, I'm on Ross St. Brown. If he goes move, even with Goff, we saw that.
I mean, it'll move somewhat. It ain't going to be doing anything close to what it normally should. But, I mean, if you lose Jared Goff, you're talking Nate Sudfeld or Hendon Hooker starting. Like, come on, man.
Okay. We had Goff.
I'm not ready for either one of those guys.
We had Goff when Amon-Ra St. Brown went down in the Patriots game. How many points did we score after he went down? Which was the second play of the game.
Okay, but at the same time, though, they weren't exactly running the ball well either that game.
The least sacked was Deshaun Watson, which we know.
He only played 6 games.
We know why that is. And then Tua Tagovailoa, we know why that is.
Yeah, he missed 11 games.
And then it goes Dak Prescott.
Okay.
And then Jared Goff. What does that tell you?
Our O-line's pretty damn good.
And it should be
I
better
said
this
last
year.
season, even after Vaitai was hurt, Dom and I both looked at each other and said, well, as good as the O-line played without him last year, guess what? You and I should go in half and buy him a panini so he can have it out there on the field behind the O-line to make sandwiches while he waits to throw the ball.
Patty Grimes wants to have a online prayer for no golf injury.
Sudfelt has no range, but under 40 yards, he was solid. That is true. It passes as long as it's not more than 32 yards. Problem is, he has 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. God, he sounds familiar. Who else is like that? Oh, yeah, it was Jordan Love when he started for Packers. Yeah, I'm going to keep throwing that out there, Packer fans, if you're watching. You need to know Jordan Love has a 1-to-1 interception ratio as a quarterback that threw plays.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Amon-Ra first down, right? James Burgess. Amon-Ra first down. He's a fucking first down machine.
The sun god. Hey, how about that? That's a signature.
Michigan Panthers, they still playing at the Silver Dome?
No, they signed Fox had him sign a contract with Ford Field.
Oh, man.
It's not bad.
And say what you want. Without Donald Trump's money being in there, I think it'll last longer with Fox's money running the USFL.
It ain't been about the money. There's been plenty of money invested. It's more people like the NFL, you know?
The NFL is king.
Premium talent. The best of the best. People like watching the best of the best.
Badgley has yet to even report to training camp, people. He has not taken one snap.
Is he injured, or is it just something to do with possibly that gambling situation?
Don't know, but that's my speculation. I had nothing concrete, but it just seems eerily too coincidental that the report came out that a 5th Lion is being investigated for gambling on the NFL. And then 5 hours later, Michael Badgley is back for a 7th round pick.
So have you guys
Patterson,
heard? I thought that I had heard something along the lines of the NFL partnering with one of these minor leagues about being like a minor league. Was that the XFL?
It is both the USFL and XFL. What it is like the players that slip through the draft and doesn't get a UDFA contract, and if they are a starter in either league, they cannot be picked up right away.
Okay. Man, they might almost need to take a page out of the NBA's book, like what they've done. Instead of college, you just go directly to this minor league. You get paid, and then.
Hey, you want to know how good Hendon Hooker is? The Sports Illustrated cover for the entire NFC North division that they're putting out in stores. Guess who's on the cover of it? The 2023 NFL preview issue. On the cover is none other than Hendon Hooker.
No shit.
Wow.
Number 12 in your programs, number 1 in your hot. I'm getting me a Hendon Hooker is the cover of Sports Illustrated for the entire region, because they always put out somebody on the cover for each region. It's not national anymore. They do it by region, the covers.
Nice.
That's sweet.
So that also means for the AFC North, they got to look at Hendon Hooker because they do it like north, east, south, west.
Like I said before, us Lions fans need to be fucking hoping the 3rd round quarterback, who'll be paid nothing, can be better than our starting quarterback. We should be fucking praying for that shit.
Yep. Well, think about what he was doing in college. When does the magazine come out? It hits the shelves today. I might be going to the store shortly. The bird.
Mark the bird.
Well, everybody, it's been a great show. Jeff, you got a parting shot for the Lions fans?
Hey, if you guys like what we're doing, just like, hit share, subscribe, typical YouTube blabbering stuff. But, I mean, you want to see us back on here again, just help us out,
Amen. Wise bearded dad?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing as always. Stay wise, stay bearded.
Well, my parting shot is the same one I always give. Like, subscribe, and share first. But it also is try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts within here. This has been Kneecap Biting with the Detroit Lions. I'm Smoking Jeremy B. That's Jeff and Wise Bearded Dad. We are out. Have a great day.